Chris with ExtremeTerrain.com, and in this video we are looking at the MP Concepts grill with LED lighting fitting all 2021 and newer Ford Broncos, excluding the Raptor model. Now, a new grill is arguably one of the easiest ways to change the entire personality of your Broncos front end, and this specific choice will achieve that OE Plus styling that may be on your wish list while simultaneously adding in some lighting performance. Now, while not being too flashy, this will incorporate amber DRL lighting and bright white off-road lighting, which will provide you the best of both worlds for improved style and sight when you're driving in the dark. Now, starting with the design of the grill and ignoring the lighting for a second, this is going to have a high trim factory-like appearance to the center cutouts with the oval-shaped openings similar to the Wildtrak and the Badlands models. Now, that alone will offer the grill a more upscale feel, keeping it relatively sleek and simple, but once you add in the LED lighting, it's going to bring function to the table that holds that same straightforward styling and keeps the same vibe. Now, the lighting will consist of 5 subtle rectangular amber LEDs up at the top and 6 bright white off-road or auxiliary lights smack dab in the center line, replacing the Bronco lettering for something that's much more useful. Now, the center lighting will also tie into the high beams, supplementing your headlights to achieve very clear visibility at night, and the amber ones will be wired into the DRL, which will give this grill some off-road or Baja charm, and of course keep you much more noticed by other drivers, especially in bad conditions, thanks to amber being much easier to see. Now, the grill is made of an injection molded ABS plastic material, so it's going to be one piece and it will fit to OEM spec thanks to the mold for minimal hassle when you go to install it. Now, ABS plastic is probably one of the most popular materials for auto parts, especially appearance parts, for the reason being that it's very lightweight, but it's also rigid. So this is going to be incredibly durable for a plastic material when it comes to light to moderate impact resistance. Now, this will come in a matte black finish, but I would say it is a little bit towards that satin side. You do get a little bit of shine with this, but if you're not necessarily a fan of how it comes, ABS is also easily paintable with the right prep process, so you could easily customize this to your build further if you choose to do so. Now, the second component of this mod is the lighting, and these will have a polycarbonate lens. One set of them is going to be clear, one smoked, and they will also have a plastic construction, being well protected like the rest of the grill. Now, LEDs also have an impressive lifespan, and these make no exception to that, even with their high output in comparison to other light sources. Now, this grill will cost you about $325, and it will land itself right in the middle of the category page for the price point. Now, there aren't many other grills that are similar to this one when considering the OE style cutouts, as well as both styles of lighting built into the layout of this grill. Now, both of those attributes contribute to the more subtle and toned down styling, which can be pretty hard to find within a grill, especially if you want an option that includes functional off-road style lighting. So if you're looking for those specific boxes to be checked, this is going to fit that mold. Now, install here will only be a couple bolts and clips when it comes to attaching it, but you will have to do some minor wiring. However, most of the wiring that you have to do is just finding the DRL and high beam wire on your headlight harness and popping them together with the taps that are provided in the kit. Now, with that being said, this is going to get a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and all said and done, it should only take you about an hour, give or take, to get this installed. Now, at this point, let's head over to the shop so one of our installers can show you how to get this installed on your Bronco. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
For this install, you need a ratchet, a 10, 8, and T30 socket, clip removal tool, Phillips head screwdriver, wire crimpers, and wire connectors. All right, today we're going to be installing a grill on our Bronco, so let's get started. So to get our grill out, we need to take our radiator cover off first. So we're going to grab our clip removal tool and take all of our push clips out of the top here. We're going to start at this end. And then take out this one here for the air intake. We're just gonna pop our air intake off first. Then we can take our whole cover out of the way. So since our grill has a front camera and washer, we have to disconnect our 2 lines here. So we have our wire for our camera, just push down and pull that out. And for our washer line here, you're just gonna squeeze this tab together and you'll be able to pull the line out like so. Now we're gonna get a ratchet and a 10mm socket. We're gonna take off our 4 bolts going across the front of the grill here. Now we can pull our grill off. So on the back of our factory grill, we need to take off a few things. We have our wire for our camera and our washer line, and then we have this bracket that holds our camera in. So we'll get our wire and our line off first, then our bracket. So we're gonna grab a clip removal tool and just work away at all the clips and then disconnect it from the camera and the washer down here. Let's start up here. These ones you can just pop off with your finger. Then we'll come here, using that little push tab for the camera. Release that, push tab right there. And for the washer, just twist that off. Set these lines aside. Then we have 3 T30 bolts here holding this bracket on. Grab a ratchet and socket, take those off. And set that aside, and we can pull our whole camera assembly out. So now we're gonna start assembling our new grill. We're gonna take our camera, just pop it out of the factory trim, and put that with our factory grill. Now this camera will just set in like so. And we'll get our bracket over. You'll see the 3 mounting locations here. Just gotta tuck a few wires out of the way. We're gonna install with our factory hardware. Now there's no threads in the plastic. We're going to make our own threads with these screws, but we can get them started by hand. And grab our ratchet and T30 and tighten them down. Then we just need to run our harness again. You're just gonna route that around our wires for our lights. Plug in our washer and our camera. And now we only have a few mounting locations now. So we got one there and one here. And then we just route the rest of it up here. If we want, we can zip tie, or we could just have that tucked up here out of the way. They shouldn't move at all. Now on either side of the grill, we just have a bracket we have to install. Now this is the top here, so this will be the left hand or driver side. You'll see the bracket is labeled L there. It's gonna slide into place. We're gonna grab 2 of our supplied Phillips head screws and put them in the top and the bottom here. Just grab your Phillips head screwdriver and tighten those down. Then you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and we're just going to install our clips here. So our clips, and we have 2 on the sides, and then they go across the bottom here. You simply just push on, like so. And you just continue installing the rest of them across the bottom. So we'll just push these on the bottom here, and just continue along. And then just keep going the rest of the way across the bottom of the grill, and the 2 on the outer edge. Now we're gonna release our fender flare just a little bit. We're gonna go to 2 of these latches here. They just simply turn like so. Do the first and the second one, and then you'll be able to pop that out a little bit just to get this lower trim off. Now we can pull our fender flare back a little bit so we can pull this trim up here. So we're gonna start at the edge, pull that off, and then right here. Now we're just gonna pull this down just so we can access this bottom 8mm bolt, so we can pull our headlight out and wire into the parking light on it. So we're gonna grab our ratchet and 8mm socket, take that bottom one out. Then go up to the top and take our two 10mm bolts out. So at the top, we have two 10mm bolts, one here, one here. We also have a push clip. Grab our clip removal tool, pop that out. Then we'll grab our ratchet and 10mm socket, take this one out. And then this one. Now we can pull our headlight out. And we can disconnect our connector back here, just push on the tab and pull back. So now here I have our top wiring harness. I just disconnected it from our parking lights on our grill, just simple push clips. Now I'm gonna get our power wire and run that down behind our headlight so we can wire into down here so we can put our headlight back in and be able to have this wire still ran. So I'm gonna take our power wire, run it in front of our battery and down through here. Gonna grab a spade connector. So we already have connectors on our wires here. We're gonna be going after the green wire with the orange stripe that we already have a T-tap on. Simply just clamps over the wire. We have a spade connector that's gonna plug into the back. So our wire is already stripped back, so we don't need to strip that back anymore. Put our spade connector on. Grab our wire crimpers and crimp that down. Make sure that's good. And just plug that into our harness, like so. Then we can get our headlight reinstalled, then get our grill on. So we're gonna get our headlight back in place, plug in our harness first. And get that back in position. And we can get our bolts back in. Start up top with our push clip. And then our two 10mm bolts. Tighten our two bolts down up here. Come down to the bottom of our headlight, put our 8mm bolt back in, tighten that down. And get our trim back in place. And then resecure our wheel liner. Just there's two levers, just give them a quarter turn. And we can go back to our grill. Now we're gonna get our grill into place. Is have our harnesses pulled up out of the way so we can plug everything in. And we have our camera and washer line pulled up out of the way, and then our off-road light harness pulled up out of the way. So we're just gonna line up all of our bottom tabs. Get all of our lower tabs secured in place first. And then our outer ones. Then we can continue installing the rest of our harnesses. Now we can just secure the top of our grill here. We're gonna reinstall our 4 10mm bolts. Grab a ratchet, 10mm socket, and tighten them down. We can get our washer line and camera tucked in now and re-secured over here. Simply just push the washer line together. Camera push until it clicks. We have our power harness for our DRL lights. We're gonna plug them back in now. Like that. And you can go ahead and just tuck that harness away. Just make sure to stay out of the way of the hood latch. And we can go over here to our two connections that will go to the battery. So we're gonna take our two harnesses and we're gonna just tuck our extra wiring down here. Here you'll see I have our two black wires. They're both gonna go to ground. So we can just put them together. We're just gonna take them, they already stripped back, and and just twist those two together. Take a terminal. Now we have a loop terminal that's just gonna go over the stud on our battery here. Just gonna grab a pair of crimpers, crimp that down. And take our ratchet and 10mm socket and just take this nut off here. Take our wire, just loop that over and put our nut back on. It's gonna get us a good ground for both sets of lights. Now we just need to hook up our power for our off-road lights. So since our Bronco has auxiliary switches, we're gonna wire into them. That's what all these wires are here. We already have a connector on one. It is our yellow and orange wire. It is auxiliary switch number 6. So we're just gonna take our power wire, put a spade connector on it, crimp that down, and then plug that in. And then that should work with our auxiliary switch. Now we're gonna reinstall our rad cover. Just gonna line up all of our mounting points and then our intake tube. Just clip that in place. And then we're just gonna reinstall all of our push clips going across. And then just keep going along.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the MP Concepts grill with LED lighting fitting all 2021 and newer Ford Broncos, excluding the Raptor models. And you can find this right here at extremeterrain.com.